Hello guys, welcome back to Luna Recaps. Today we'll be checking out a horror thriller film from 2012 titled, Would You Rather? Spoilers ahead, please be sure to turn on subtitles, watch out and take care. The movie centers around Iris, a college dropout, who had to move back home after the death of her parents. She not only struggles to deal with the pile of debts they've left behind, but she also has to care her terminally ill little brother, Raleigh, who suffers from leukemia and is in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant. Raleigh sees himself as a burden to his sister, but Iris constantly reminds him that he is her life, and she'll always stick with him. Desperate for money that she can use to support her ailing brother, Iris applies for a position at a restaurant even though she has no prior experience, and she is told she will be contacted later if they decide to hire her. The next day, Iris goes to meet Dr. Barden, the oncologist treating her brother's cancer. He had promised to introduce her to someone who would be able to assist her financially with the costs associated with the treatments. Dr. Barden introduces her to a rich-looking man by the name of Shepard Lambrick. He tells her that his foundation program has the means to intervene in her brother's situation and help him. That is, if she would be willing to accept his invitation to a dinner party he would be hosting. He tells her that several other guests who are also in desperate financial need would be present there too. And the evening would culminate with all the guests playing a game, where the winner of the game would have all their expenses and needs taken off. Everything beginning from bills, school's fees, and even their debts will be covered by his foundation. Iris asks Dr. Barden about Mr. Lambrick's offer, still debating if it's legit or not, but Dr. Barden tells her that he also participated in his game some years ago, and he won. He claimed that Mr. Lambrick saved his life when he was also in a situation similar to hers. Iris appreciates him for the offer, but tells him she would have to think it over first, so he gives her his business card, telling her to RSVP if she does decide to join. He also tells her that not only would she get the money if she wins, but they would also be able to bypass all waiting lists and locate a suitable donor for her brother. She thanks them both and leaves. Mr. Lambrick murmurs to Dr. Barden that she is their perfect candidate. Iris and Raleigh are having dinner at home, when she gets a call from the company she applied to work with earlier. They tell her that they wouldn't be hiring anymore since they've found another candidate for the job. Iris is devastated, with no other option to secure the finances needed for her brother's treatments. She gets Mr. Lambrick's business card and contacts him. She makes up an excuse and tells Raleigh that she will be heading out with some friends, so she won't be home tonight. Raleigh tells her he would be fine, and she should go have fun. So at night, Iris gets herself ready to go to Mr. Lambrick's dinner party, and she has picked up a Mercedes and drove into the location. Iris prepares herself for the game, not knowing what to expect when she gets there. She recoils in the memories of her brother to at least give her a bit of strength. A butler, Bevins, welcomes her in, and she is taken to meet the other guests for the night. He reveals to the others that the eighth and final guest has arrived and the dinner will begin shortly, which would be followed promptly by the game. We are introduced to the other guests. Cal is from Seattle. Lucas is from Iowa. Peter is a high-stakes gambler from Las Vegas. Linda is an elderly woman in a wheelchair. Travis is a military veteran of the Iraq War. Amy is a self-centered bad girl. Conway is a middle-aged alcoholic. Bevins tells the guests that they'll have to drop all their possessions and cell phones so as to avoid distraction and unfair advantage during the game. Conway thinks it's a little bit suspicious and strange, but he assures him that they're all safe. So they all give him their phones and other belongings, and Bevins escort all the guests to the dining room and take their seats. They are soon joined by Mr. Lambrick, along with his brat son, Julian. He officially welcomes the guests to the game and they all begin dinner. They're all served their meal and begin feasting. But Iris tells Mr. Lambrick that she doesn't mean to any disrespect, but she won't be able to eat the meal because she's a vegetarian. Julian scoffs, and Mr. Lambrick reveals that it is time to award some money tonight. He begins to pressure Iris into eating the steak in front of her, but Iris continues to insist she has been a lifelong vegetarian and cannot eat it. So to prove that everyone has a price, Lambrick convinces Iris to eat the meat for $10,000. Bevins drop the money in front of her, while everyone watches. The elderly woman convinces Iris to just do it. And before she could think of anything else, she can already see herself eating the steak. Lambrick continues to laugh as he jokes about how she just broke her lifetime commitment for a mere 10 grand. Next, he asks Conway if he would like some wine, knowing fully well that he is a recovering alcoholic. Conway asks him why he's doing this, but he then again offers him $10,000 to drink the entire glass of wine. Conway tells him that it's not worth it and he wouldn't do it. He then offers him $50,000 if he would drink a scotch. He then asks him to choose between the glass of wine for $10,000 or the whole scotch for $50,000. With a bit of hesitation after an emotional struggle, Conway grabs the bottle of scotch and chugs it down while Lambrick laughs his heads out at him. He seems to be enjoying seeing his guests do these things to themselves simply because of money. After they're all done with dinner, Lambrick gets up and announces that it is now time to officially begin the game. They asks him what the game is exactly. Lambrick explains that the participants will play a game of Would You Rather. Players are eliminated if they refuse to make a choice or to act on their decision. Each dilemma presented also has a time limit. Players in round 1 have 15 seconds to make their choice. After explaining the rules, Lambrick gives everyone an opportunity to refuse participation and leave now if they want to. Conway gets up, debating whether to quit or not. Looking down at the $50,000 in his hand, but decides to stay eventually. The game has officially begun. Lambrick orders Bevins to wheel in a machine, which the others soon find out to be an electrocuting machine configured with car batteries. They're all left in shock when they all realize what's really going on. Conway gets up and tells him that he's done, but Lambrick reminds him he had already given him the chance to leave before. But Conway tells him he doesn't care and he's going home. Bevins pulls out a gun and shoots him dead while the whole room begins panicking. The bodyguards force them all back to their seats and Lambrick reminds them all again that their participation is no longer voluntary. Bevins puts on gloves and turns the machine on. He fits in head straps on Cal and Amy. Lambrick then asks if he would rather electrocute himself or shock Amy. He gives him 15 seconds to make a decision. Cal doesn't know what to do, so he chooses to electrocute himself. Amy gives him a stupid devilish smile and Bevins moves on to the next two people. He attached the head straps to Amy and the elderly woman Linda this time. Before Lambrick could even complete his sentence, Amy had already pushed the button and zapped the poor old lady. The others are left in horror and Amy tells them that she has to win no matter what. Next, it is Peter and Linda's turn. Lambrick asks Linda if she would rather electrocute herself again or electrocute Peter. He sets the timer, and the poor old lady chooses to electrocute Peter. It is now finally Iris' turn with Lucas. She panics and tries to get the strap off but she doesn't have much of any choice. However, Lucas chooses to electrocute himself instead of Iris. And for the last one, Cal is attached to the straps again and Iris is asked to choose between herself and Cal. Cal braces himself to get shocked but Iris chooses to electrocute herself instead. Lambrick then gets up and tells them that he'll give them a moment to prepare for the next round. After a few moments, Lambrick comes back and the group begins the second round of the game. In this round, a 30 seconds time limit is given for decision making. Iris is given a choice between stabbing Cal in the thigh with an ice pick and striking Travis 3 times with a stjmbok, which is an African whipping stick. The group discusses that stabbing the thigh risks puncturing an artery. They collectively agree to have Iris whip Travis. With a heavy heart, Iris is forced to whip Travis until his back began to bleed. Now it is Lucas' turn. Lucas is given a choice between stabbing Iris and whipping Travis, again. After a discussion, Travis agrees to be whipped once more. And he gets brutally beaten again. Travis is however lucky now, or not so because he is asked to choose between stabbing Lucas in the thigh, or allowing Bevins to whip him this time. Travis realizes that he is being singled out because he threatened Julian. Travis however chooses another whipping since he cannot risk the others bleeding to death. But after going through another round of whipping, he however comes close to death himself. Peter is now given the choice of whipping Travis, who is already half dead, or stabbing Linda in her thigh. Since her legs are paralyzed, Peter chooses to stab Linda's thigh, as Travis is too injured to survive another whipping. But unfortunately, Peter hits her artery and Linda begins bleeding profusely. Peter tries frantically to stop the bleeding with a belt. Meanwhile, Linda chooses to stab Amy. Amy is now allowed to stab anyone she chooses. Feeling that Iris is getting more lucky than the rest of them, Amy selects Iris. Lambrick grants Amy's request to stab Iris anywhere and Amy puts the ice pick into Iris' side. Linda finally bleeds to death and Bevins takes her out of the game. And for the final choice, Cal is asked to choose between stabbing Lucas or whipping Travis. Believing Amy's suggestion that they will have to eliminate the other players in order to survive, Cal chooses to whip Travis, which ultimately ends up making him unconscious and unable to continue the game. While Bevins and Lambrick are in a discussion, the players uses the chance to make a revolt. Lucas causes a distraction and everyone except Amy attempts to escape the room. Cal advances on Shepard with the stjmbok as Lucas attacks the guards and Iris escapes. While Cal is shot and killed when he tries to attack Lambrick. After Shepard shoots and kills Cal, the others surrender. Peter, Lucas, and Amy are brought back to their seats at gunpoint while Shepard sends Bevins and Julian after Iris. Julian finds Iris in the basement and begins assaulting her. Iris fights off Julian and is able to stab him in the thigh. She is almost able to escape, but she is caught by Bevins and brought back to the room. Amy, Peter, Lucas and Iris are the last remaining members of the group, and Lambrick decides to move on to the last round. For the next round, the players are given a choice between having their heads held in a barrel of water for 2 minutes, or the unknown punishment on a card sealed in an envelope before each player. Peter chooses the card. His punishment is to hold a firecracker in his hand. He seems relieved, but his expression changes soon when it turns out to be a quarter stick of dynamite. The explosive is duct taped into his hand. After it explodes, Peter gets a heart attack and dies. Next, Lucas chooses a card. He opens it and it is revealed to be an eye. He is then forced to slice his eye with a razor blade, or he'll get shot dead by Bevins. After seeing the horror that the other two had gone through, Iris chooses to take her chances with being held underwater in the barrel. Bevins submerged her head underwater. She recoils in memories of her brother to give her strength, and luckily, she is able to complete the 2 minutes successfully. It is now Amy's turn to choose between the unveiling the card or being submerged underwater. She however opens the card and realizes that she has to spend not 2, but 4 whole minutes underwater. Bevins takes her and she is submerged underwater, but she doesn't make it past the first minute and drowns. Bevins takes her out. Iris and Lucas are now the only remaining players. And with only the 2 of them in the final round, Lambrick asks them to face each other. A coin is flipped to decide who gets an upper advantage. Iris wins the coin toss. Iris is then given the choice to either shoot and kill Lucas to win the game, and get the money from the Lambrick Foundation, or spare him, which would result in both walking away empty-handed. After some hesitation, Iris shoots Lucas in the chest, killing him. Lambrick and the others began to clap for her as she covers her ears. Shepard crowns her the champion and gives her a bag full of money that's more than enough to pay for her brother's treatment, pay off all her debt as well as enable her to go back to the university. He also explains that a donor has already been located for her brother in Romania. When Iris takes a taxi and finally arrives home, she goes straight to the shower, trying as much as she can to get her mind over everything that has happened. She then goes to Raleigh's room and finds him sleeping, but as she goes closer to him, she discovers Raleigh had committed suicide by overdosing on pills while she was out, as he could not stand being a burden any longer. Iris screams out and weeps as everything she had gone through to save her brother was all for nothing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to help our channel grow, and we'll see you on our next video.